Right, let's start this. No monkeying around because I've got a lot to get through. Had an absolute banger of a weekend and a week. And I've got a banger coming up. There's a lot I need to talk through with you guys because it's excited. It was exciting. It is exciting. I'm exciting. Hail everyone. Blood Buffalo. Keep delivering that mail in Buffalo through the storm. Jackus Wood, who's definitely not French. Red Richmond. The Dagda William Willis. Hello everyone. Happy wargaming. This is the way the world ends. All that sort of shit. I'm rocking the merch today. I'm rocking all the merch. Look, Daniel Rigoni. All the merch. Christmas is coming. The Codex Astartes approves of this. I know, right? The Codex Astartes definitely approves of this merch. We're on Pussy Watch as well. He's down there. 1 minute. Camera. He's been to the vet today. We can talk that as well. Look, there he is. He's a little bit stoned because we'll start off with this. Because to get him in the car to go to the vet, we have to drug him. Because he doesn't like the car journeys. So we had to drug him last night and then drug him this morning with the things in the little licky lick so he could go to the vet and back. And I was playing today, so Cat took the cat to the vet and back, screaming all the way there, screaming all the way back there. He's nearly 17 years old. He's getting a checkup for a thing, but he's fine. He's fine. Everything's fine. So on Cat Watch this evening, he might actually stay there for longer than 5 seconds because we know he doesn't like me talking away while he's down there doing all the things. Wraith Raider, thank you for the 19 months. Legend, 19 months. You're a massive member, thank you. But we know he doesn't like staying there. We know he likes buggering off because he doesn't like me chattering away. So we're on Cat Watch. Let's see if the stoner effect for the drugs that I had to give him to get him in the car means he's a lot more compliant than normal. Yeah? You shitbag? You little shitbag. You're a good boy. You're purring away? Yeah? Okay. You stay there. No, you stay there. Pussy Watch is in effect. Let me know if he breaks. I'll get that off of there. We'll put that up there. My head's probably in the wrong place. We'll leave him there. See, because if I go on this side, you won't be able to see. No, it's this. And this evening Heresy squat. We're trying to figure out the best camera for. That's probably the best camera for Pussy Watch. Because let's face it, cats took over the internet, right? They won the battle for the internet. They are everywhere. Well, yeah, he's still alive. He's still kicking it. The vet says he's okay. Right, we're rocking the merch. I mentioned the merch. One thing I want to say is Christmas is coming. What better gift to get your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, your children, your auntie, your next door neighbour than a Winter's SEO mug? Get them to join the mug club. It's the best gift ever. You wake up on Christmas Day. You come downstairs. And in front of you, there's a lot of future pile of shame laid out that you're not going to touch, at least until 2026. It's all there, and an orange, and something in a sock. And, that's about it. And a mug. A mug in a... Tell your significant other that what you want to do is join the mug club. And if you join the mug club, make it a mug party. Winter's SEO merch available on the YouTube merchandise page. Does it make coffee better for it makes coffee... Coffee has never tasted so sweet since I've drunk it from a Winter's SEO. Hear that? That is the slurp of perfection. Guaranteed 100% of the time, 30% of the time to make your coffee taste perfect. As perfect as Eldar Tears. He's not going. He's loving it. He's wrapped up. He's staying in his donut. Purring his ass off right now. You guys can't hear that. So we'll move over. Anyway, that's me pimping my shizzle. Hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining in. Had a banger. We got a lot to talk through. It looks like a good size as well. It's the average size. Average is all you need. Look, 3 inches is all you need for a good pile in, right? And this is definitely, I think that's like 3 inches. I'm pretty certain. So it looks like it's A tape measure's next door. We can put it next to... How big is it compared to a Contemptor Dreadnought? It's bigger than a Contemptor Dreadnought. I mean, Contemptor Dreadnoughts are big, and it's bigger than a Contemptor Dreadnought. What if someone doesn't drink coffee or tea? Then they're heretics and call the Inquisition. That's what I say. Don't drink coffee or tea? Heresy. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's pretty... You're clear... It's illegal in this country, for a start. It's illegal. Women prefer quality 9-inch charge. 9-inch charge is a good charge, particularly if you come in from deep strike. If you're deep striking in hard and you push in with a 9-inch charge, boom, you knock someone's teeth out with that. An absolute banner, you say? No, I don't say an absolute banner. I say an absolute banger, the Eternal Crusader. What about a 4, then 5, then a bang? Yes, banger. That's what I said. Banger of a week, banger of a weekend. We've got a lot to talk about. How are you guys, by the way? You all right? Anyone played any 40k or Heresy over the weekend? There's lots of Hivestorm stuff coming out. You know, that Kill Team game that they're pushing, that I know about 3 people that play, but mainly they sell lots and lots of Kill Team models because of the stuff, the middle miniatures. People get it for the miniatures. It's like Necromunda. There's a lot of people who play Necromunda, and then there's the squat stuff coming out for that. We haven't had much 40k stuff for a while. I tell a lie. We've had a massive 40k thing. We had the rules and the points update. Got my wife 3 pairs of socks for her birthday. A mug might be an upgrade. Exactly. A mug is better than 3 pairs of socks. You're getting 3 pairs of socks for Christmas. You know it. But a mug as well. Grab the mug. You're just building Hivestorm models. See, that's it. People get the Hivestorm models for 40k. People get a chunk of Necromunda models for 40k. But Necromunda, the scene for Necromunda is absolutely huge. So apart from that, and the massive rules changes, not rules changes, but facts. We haven't had a balanced data slate yet. We've had the facts tidying some stuff up, and the points. Haven't had many releases for 40k. We can talk about rules and facts if you've got any questions on that. You're looking forward to the Kill Team thing. Good. Nice. Good. Yeah, there are some people who play it. Yeah, it's a nice quick one there. If you're playing a skirmish game, though, Necromunda or Blood Bowl is just better. Isn't it? Socks are my favourite present. Oh dear. Painting Bolt Action 3rd edition box set. The Prince of Crows. Prince of Crows is fantastic short story. Absolutely fantastic short story. Recommend. 10 out of 10. It is the genesis of the modern Night Lords. It's where it ended and where it began. Wraith Raider. Oh, I did play 40k. I played Alpha Legion. 1,400 points. Curious points number. I like it. Infiltrating 9 inches away from my opponent. Supported by a Lord of Skulls. Was funny. 1-1 drew. 1 lost. 1 stupid silly tournament. Yes. So 1 minute. You had a Lord of Skulls. And then a chunk of infiltrating stuff right up the middle with a Lord of Skulls. Nice. Definitely a tournament thing. William Willis. Happy getting 2,000 points of Orcs in time for November games. Now frantically having to paint more. Pickle Nick. He's painting. He's just painting. He's not playing. So some of you are actually doing some stuff, which is good. See, the sun is getting low, big guy. Getting real low. It's getting colder out there. It's time to buckle up for the long winter. Winter is coming. Get yourself a good audio series like Gaunt's Ghost or the entire Horus Heresy series or Eisenhorn or Ravener or Caphas Cain or the Night Lords trilogy. A good audio series that you haven't listened to yet. Set up a hobby project. Set 1 day a week aside. Start smashing it. Smashing those hoops, like Jordan. Yeah, man. That's what I'd be doing right now. Only had a really busy weekend, a really awesome weekend, which we can talk about. I had a banger. It's in the title. I had a banger. Started an Eldar army. We'll skip that one. Wraith Raider. I have to post a picture of my deployment. It was hilarious to see. Please do so. Put it in the Discord. Tag me. Like, I want to see this deployment with this Lord of Skulls and 1,400 points. How many points is a Lord of Skulls? It's like 500 or something. Did anyone see the monolith went up to 400 points? The monolith is now more expensive than most knights. And I'm sorry, but the monolith is not better than a knight. Yes, the monolith can put out some shoots with death rays in particular. But if it wants to shoot a knight to death, the knight will probably outshoot it, depending on the guns. And then in close combat, yes, it's got an eternity gate, which is great at sucking people off the battle grid and putting them in a pocket dimension. And there's nothing wrong with getting sucked off. But in close combat, smacking a monolith with your chainsword or your fist, it doesn't compare, but it's 400 points. How am I going to run 2 monoliths again in one of my Hypercrypt Necron lists? How? It's like they've nerfed that into oblivion. That's a 50-point upgrade. Has any other model been done as dirty as that in the new points upgrade? I mean, things go up 5 points, 10 points. Some expensive stuff goes up a bit, but from 350 to 50 points, percentage-wise, that's 50 of 350 divide by carry the 1. That's like 68% increase on a monolith. It's crazy, yo. Thunderballs went up and they're crap. Yeah, Thunderwalls went up and they are crap unless you're running tournaments and people do like 3 units of them. It's like the Eradicators went up a bit with the Biologist Putrefier guy. No, Apothecary Biologist, he went up a bit, and then the strat that you put on there with the Apothecary, with the Eradicators, they all went up. So that chunk has gone up an awful lot of points. It's like Thunderwolves, pretty pants, but people running them in tournaments, in Gladius Strike Force, with it, it's a thing. Magnus went up a lot, and he's still worth it. He's still worth it, you're right. Magnus went up a lot and he's still worth it. Mortarion, 300 points. 300 points. See, Mortarion would be able to destroy a monolith eventually, after many swings, and the monolith isn't going to kill Magnus and isn't going to kill Mortarion, and he's 100 points cheaper. 300 points from Mortarion. It's like an auto include. White Scars battle report made me happy. My White Scars army is halfway done for Heresy. I'm glad you enjoyed the White Scars battle report at the weekend. It hasn't been doing great as far as the algorithm is concerned. I don't think we're over but 10k yet. It's only been a couple of days. But it's loyalist on loyalist, right? And I don't think that, but it was a great game. All those White Scars on the table sweeping around. The hammer versus the anvil. The hammer strike of the White Scars. The anvil of the Iron Hands. I enjoyed myself immensely on that one. It's just good. Dominic Benson, thank you for your 15 months. Slowly painting some Necrons. Now fairly interested in the obeisance phalanx detachment. That's definitely how it's said, words. That's the elite one, right? The elite one, yes. Hypercrypt Necrons is still a thing, but you can't put monoliths in it because it's still picky uppy and putty down. And picky uppy and putty down lists in the Prior Nexus mission deck, or the Leviathan mission deck, is the way to win a lot of them. Grey Knights, good at that. Blood Angels now good at that. Uriel Ventress, that's why Space Marines brought that. Hypercrypt still good. Canoptic still good. The Phalanx one, I haven't played it at all. I have not touched that one at all. Tank Commander's got Squadron again. I know, right? Do you remember when they forgot to give Synapse to Broodlords? And they gave Synapse back to Broodlords? It's like for the last 18 months, they forgot Tank Commanders were in a squadron. A tank squadron, which includes a tank commander. It's like 18 months on. It's, oh yeah, we're giving Squadron back again. So it's got Squadron. It's good. It's good. Farseer Winter's Classic. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Greg Shimaninin. Well, thank you for 27 months, dude. I appreciate it. Building up many jump pack Blood Angels because only angels should fly. I like it. We are the angels of death. The jump pack Blood Angels with Sanguinary Guard and some dudes jumping in with some chaplains attached to them for the mortal wound impact with picky up and drop down again. So you'll have some couple of units of Sanguinary Guard, probably Dante, couple of units of jump dudes jumping up and probably with some chaplains in. Then another tiny little unit of 5 to jump in there, and another couple of units of scouts to deep strike in there for your secondaries. Back that up with some guns. You got yourselves a list there. You got yourselves a Blood Angels list, a nice Blood Angels list. They also fixed Imperial Agents Rhinos, so they can't nest another. Look, they also fixed Imperial Agents Rhinos, so they can't nest in other rhinos. Right, let's talk about this. For those that didn't know, they said anything that's got the Imperial Agents keyword can go in a rhino, and a rhino's got the Imperial Agents keyword, so a rhino can go in a rhino, technically, as far as the rules are concerned. Come on now. Rhinos don't fit in rhinos. We knew that was going to get fixed. We knew it was a typo. And the fact that the internet lost their minds thinking that rhinos could fit in... It's like putting a Cyclops demolition unit inside a rhino, and then the rhino goes inside a Land Raider, then the Land Raider goes inside a Spartan, and the Spartan goes inside a Mastodon. It's not a Russian doll. The fact that some people on the internet interpreted it and said, well, it says it this way, is you just... That's a problem with the 40k player base there. That's a problem with the 40k internet right there. The fact that some people took that as a serious thing, that rhinos could go in rhinos. So they fixed it. So rhinos technically can't go in rhinos, but rhinos could never go in rhinos. And quite frankly, I'm disgusted with the internet for suggesting that a rhino could fit inside a rhino. I couldn't fit inside me. Wait, that didn't sound right. You know what I mean? Hello, Marius. Beric, much love. That's yes. That's a yes. It's just the rule. See, that's a problem with the reason why the 40k rules are written like, I don't know. They're written so. I'd like to say they're written like an IKEA instruction manual, but IKEA instruction manuals don't have any instructions on. They just have pictures. You know what I mean? They're written so... What's the non-offensive way to say it? They're written so... Offense deleted. Words deleted way. Because some people in the 40k player base take hold of these rules and abuse them like a greased up penguin in a swimming pool. You know, it's just crazy. And I, for one, welcome when they go back to the old days where the rules were woolly as all hell and you have to sort it all out by having, well, they weren't as woolly as all hell, but the rules were a bit woollier, saying this does this and this does this. And if you have some kind of disagreement on the table, in page 1 of the rule book, it said, this is a fun game. Agree amongst yourselves if there's any rules discrepancy. From like 7th edition back, it literally says that. And then if you'd rather, just roll off, and the winner of the roll off gets to apply their version of the rule. There was a rule on how to sort out confused rules. I, for one, welcome the woolly days back again, and then let the tournament community sort themselves out. You know what I mean? It was a simpler time. Woolly rules rule. 40k rules are written for a competitive audience because they're the loudest voice of feedback. As a bit of trolling, it's pretty funny, but as a serious thing, it's, I don't know, still pretty funny, but I tell my opponent to F. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Say your opponent turned up and said, I've put my unit of Imperial agents inside this rhino, and I've put this unit of Imperial agents inside this rhino. And then to keep them safe, what I've done is deployed the rhinos into these other 2 rhinos, and then I'm going to run them at you. You're like, if someone actually did that, I guess if someone actually did that, then you'd never play them again. And you'd tell all your friends, like, see Kevin over there? Don't touch him. He has the lurg. You know what I mean? It does say that in 10th too. It literally says that in the 10th rules. I have to check this out for myself. It says in 10th rules that roll off. I'm up 1 minute, talk amongst yourselves. I need to check this. Are we all still here? Did you behave while I went away? Can I put a 40k Legion Imperialis Rhino in a 40k Rhino? I think that's definitely allowed, yes. You can put a tiny, teeny, tiny Rhino. Yeah, that's in the rules. P90 running the stream. He was temporarily. He's still there. Nice chair, thank you. Cheap IKEA. I don't like spending money. Rules, armies, units, data sheets, battle round abilities, hints, summaries, page numbers. Core rules. Terrain features, core concepts. Where is it in the main rules? Where is it in the main rules? 1 minute. That's a noob tactic list. This Wraith Raider will definitely. You put an agents in Rhino 1. Then that would go in Rhino 2. Then that would go in Rhino 3. Then Rhino 4. Then Rhino 5. Then Rhino 6. Then you disembark them in a long line across the table. Yeah, rhinos in rhinos in rhinos with Imperial agents in. I take it all back. It's a great rule. I definitely want to see that in a battle report at some point. So where does it say you actually roll a thing? Well, you roll a thing, battle round, data sheets, abilities, hints and tips. You know, it used to say... This game is supposed to be fun. And if you have any disagreements, just roll a dice. Battlefield, measuring distance, wobbling visibility, wobbling unit visibility, dice, rolling dice, sequencing dice. It's definitely not in page 1. It's definitely not in page 1. Have enjoyed a test lab, it's broken, not surely come. Oh, won't it? Dude, it is in page 1. It's right here. In a game as wide-ranging as 40,000, there might be times when you are not sure exactly how to resolve a situation that has come up during play. When this happens, have a quick fat chat with your opponent and apply the solution that makes most sense to both of you. Words are hard. If no single solution presents itself, you and your opponent should roll off, and whoever rolls the highest gets to choose what happens. Then you can get on with the fighting. It's in introduction. It's in that paragraph there. I take it all back. It used to be in the rule books. It's still in the rule books. The golden rule should be have fun, and the second rule about Fight Club is no smoking. And then the third rule about Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. And then the fourth golden rule after the golden rule should be that one in the big block. Okay, so it's still a thing. It's still a thing. I take it you're right. You're right. Everyone's right. Everyone calm down. Can we calm down? Everyone calm down. I had a banger of a week. I had a banger of a weekend. There was a hospital visit, but we're counting that out. There was a vet visit for him, but he ain't dead. But apart from that, I had a banger of a week. A bit vindication for Marius Gage, and I've got a banger coming up. I wanted to talk about my weep. Did I weep words? Did I mention the merch? It's Christmas time. Buy merch. Thank you to all my subscribers and members and things. Subscribe to Winter's SEO YouTube channel. Become a tier 3 channel member and get yourself an extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday. Tomorrow, got another massive 2v2 where I'm bringing Mortarion, and a surprise guest brings along Angron and some World Eaters. And it's Mortarion and Angron and the World Eaters. I got 2,000 points, they got 2,000 points, and we attack, smash 2,000 points of Imperial Guard and Sisters, and it's a surprise guest, and it's a surprise. It's going to be lovely. 4,000 point 2v2 game tomorrow. What a banger. And you can get that if you become a tier 3 Winners SEO channel member, and also supports me. Right, let's stop pimping my shizzle. Where are we? I thought the golden rule was in Little Timmy isn't left crying with his army in ruins. It's not been a good game. Oh yeah, if Little Timmy isn't left crying with his army in ruins, it's definitely not a good game. The point is not just to beat your opponent, but to humiliate them and make them cry, right? That's why we play this fun game. Please tell me the surprise guest. No capes. No surprise guest. It will surprise you who's bringing the World Eaters, though. It surprised the crap out of me. Got a surprise guest coming this Saturday. We're going to talk to the surprise guest about Saturday at the end. Remind me about the Saturday fight. If anyone's here by the time we finally finish this live stream, because we're definitely going to go over an hour this evening because I've got a lot to talk about and I haven't even started yet. But if we get to the end and you're still here, remind me, I need to talk to you about the Saturday game. Watching you is fun. Thank you, Tinky Yuku. Thank you. That's the general idea. Entertainment. So we're trying to get to... If we get to the chat about the Saturday game, I need whoever's left in the chat who was here, who remembered the thing, surprise guest, we need to talk about that as well. It's not Henry Cavill, I wish it was, and so does my wife. I'm Brian and so's my wife. Brian? Oh dear. Got any cool 30k games coming up? Love seeing Imperial Miller. Yes. I've got 2 games of the Imperialis militia coming back. Yes, 2 of them. 2 whole... One of them is a 5,000 point game. The other one's just 3,000 points. Right, can we talk about my week now? I want to share my week with you. Hugo Merchant gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Hugo. Thank you so much. Can we have a massive GG's in the chat all round, please? GG's in the chat for Hugo. He is a legend of the community. He's a generous mushroom, and people like Hugo help keep this party bus rolling. Thank you, Hugo. Big GGs to you. It's awesome. Thank you, Hugo. And it was quiet in the chat. There was no comments beforehand. He just came along and dropped 10 gifted memberships like that. Giggity giggity. I don't play Horus Heresy, but I love watching your Horus Heresy battle reports, Winters. Would love to see more Legion Imperialis 2, 0.0. Henry Cavill is going to be in my town next year to film Highlander. Going to try and get a signature on my codex. And if you see him, tell him to watch Winters SEO YouTube channel, and he's always invited down here, says my wife. QKN234 gifted 5 memberships. OMG. Thank you so much. Can we have another round of GG's in the chat for UKN234? And I didn't even see any comments from him either, or her. I just saw, boom, people coming along and dropping fat wads of gifted memberships in the chat. Legends, all of you. Massive GG's to these supporters. It just, yes, I can't, this is a team thing. I can't do this without you guys. So thank you. Hugo Marchant is a legend. Insert self-plug here. What are we talking about? That's just for the 30k games, buddy. Keep them coming. Thank you, QKN234. That's just for the 30k games. I'll keep them coming. I love my Heresy. I love my 40k. I am so grateful to be sat here after 10 years of doing this, playing games for a living. It's amazing that people do this, play games for a living. It's just crazy. I mean, I understand people watching people play games because I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube of people playing games as well. So I get that side of things. But it happened to me. I just keep waiting to go back to work. It feels like a long extended holiday, and I dreamt about my own work literally last night. I had a dream about it. It was a goddamn nightmare. It was like I was back there again. It was that was hard, yo, mate. My YouTube Sundays rely on you. Thank you, Tinky Yuku. Winters, will Paul be back anytime soon? Yes. It's a while yet. He's coming down at the end of next month to film, right at the end of next month, to film some Heresy. So that'll probably come out next year. So Paul is coming down, but the battle report might be next year. Oh, dear. You're the OG Winters, rocking it old school. Thank you. I am very old. I wish I could get paid to play games. You're living the dream. I know. I'm very aware that I'm living the dream. And thank you for living the dream through me. How Wolf Heart Angabara asks, how to make 40k more attractive for girls, women? That's a big question. That could be an entire stream right there. What I have noticed, back when I went to Warhammer World in the 80s, when it wasn't anything like it was now, or even in the 90s, or the noughties, and you're in the gaming hall at the weekend at an event, or not at an event, or a Throne of Skulls or something like that, there'd be some women in the room, and none of them were playing, like girlfriends and things like that. But there'd be some, and by some I mean maybe that many. And then last time I was up there was last year for a weekend thing, and there was like 20 in the room. There were a lot, and some of them were playing a lot for this male dominated hobby. So it is growing. There are more and more and more, women getting into the hobby. I think Space Marine 2 will help a huge amount. And Henry Cavill, if he ever appears in a piece of, skin-tight body glove suit, firing laser beams and fighting with a power sword, I think we'll get a lot more women in the hobby as well. Because, Henry. Ah, dear. I had a dream I did a full day's work. Then I woke up and had to do it all again for real. Yeah, man. Sucks. When will we next see Marvelous Stylus? 1 minute. He's up on here somewhere. There is a game logged in somewhere. I can't see him. Where are you? Is it on the 17th with Monkey? Or it might be next year. I think it's the beginning of next year, but he's coming. Everyone wants Henry's power sword. I'd love Henry's power sword. Yeah. Where were we? I'm getting distracted by Henry's power sword. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Someone give me a poke. Be good to see Stylus and the Zinchi boys. I know it would. I think, though, when he's coming down, he's going to play some Old World, I think. I can't. My calendar's up there. That's why I'm looking up with all the things. I don't do it on the phone because electronics, I hate them. I'm a pen and paper kind of guy. That's how it works. Pen and paper. I mean, these are my lists. There's another list. I understand there's apps for this. I'm not even sure what an app is. I think it's something that you find on your phone. Talk about Saturday, your week, Saturday. Yes. Hi, everyone. Out of work early. Happy to catch the stream. Hi, Wrath of Constantine, all the way from America. You mentioned your 2v2 games. My brother and I find doubles event. Yes, went 5-0. Nice. Right, yes, I'm talking about my week. Absolute banger. I should have just looked at the title. Okay, so first thing that happened was Sultan got in contact with me. This is before the weekend. Henry's a boost, but what shall I do? Little timid guy like me. You should become a Winters SEO channel member and join the Discord, particularly if you're in the UK. And then there's loads of people in the Discord that will fight you and encourage you. And the painting in there, it's a very welcoming, I am proud of my community. I was chatting to Chris B at the March of Winters event, which is a community event. And I also chatted to Brap recently as well. Like moderating the Discord community, the Winters SEO Discord community takes very little work because everyone in there is nice. Everyone out there checks each other. We're welcoming, we're encouraging. It's a positive space. It's a creative space. I'm so lucky to have attracted that kind of, I don't know, it's come together over time. It's almost always been like that. A very welcoming, very attractive, very creative, very encouraging space. But I think it's becoming a refined, taller, stronger, longer, harder, better version of that over time. I'm just so proud of them, man. So I appreciate you. If you're in the Discord, legends, all of you. Absolute legends. Brap, one of the highlights. You don't have to put up with him in the flesh. I mean, Brap, he's a lovely lad. But it's mainly the smell. It's just, he stinks like Nurgle's belly button. I don't think he's washed this millennia. I think he's allergic to water. Winters, I still remember the Dark Angels in the Circle 4+ to a wound tournament. But yes. I did a tournament once. But we don't talk about that. Right, banger of the week. Let's start. Banger of the week. Sultan got in contact with me and said he's thinking about getting a Blood Angels army for Heresy. Because he's obviously got 10,000 points of stuff for 40k. And I said, are you going to play? And he went, yeah. But I was looking through lists. He's going, I'm using Battle Scribe, and I'm looking through lists, and I was like, well, and he sent me through some ideas, and I was like, yeah. And then he sent me through some more ideas, and I was like, oh. You need line, you need some strong this, you need some weak that, you need that. These are not lists. So I went round his house, and we went hard into the list building, and we also partied hard. I had some water, really hard. And then I did some lists, and I did a list for him. One of them, the Day of Revelations, one of them, the Day of Sorrows. I keep saying banger, and you now want bangers and mash? Nice. Sultan, that crazy bastard. Yeah, so he's thinking about getting some Heresy Blood Angels. And his lists were a bit meh. So we wrote some lists. I spent a couple of hours around his house just with the codex in my hand, writing. Literally brought this in the room today to remind myself of the names, like, Day of Sorrows, Day of Revelations, to write. And then this fell out of it. And that's my app that I wrote the list on for one of his lists. I said, this is what, if I was doing it, this is what I would do. So the Day of Sorrows, so this will actually be good. Someone should edit this and clip this for later on. What would Winters do for a Blood Angels list if he was starting Blood Angels in Horus Heresy? Well, Day of Sorrows, they've got Day of Revelation, that's when they're all deep striking. And Day of Sorrows is when they're all a bit crazy after the rage and the things. So they've got one which is hit you hard, and the second one which is a bit blood drunk, red thirst, keep going. The second one is the easier one to do, because the second one, the Day of Sorrows, allows you to bring Crimson Paladins as line troops, so they score, and they can bring Land Raiders as dedicated. So if I was doing it, because he had like one in, I'd have like 3 Land Raiders and 15 Terminators, 5 Terminators in 3 Land Raiders, and they all score. And then you need some anti-infantry long-range DACA, because the triple Land Raiders are a lot of las cannon DACA, like las cannons in the nose, pintle-mounted multi-melters on the pin, 255-point Land Raiders, basically, with all the las and all the multi-melters, 3 of them, 5 Terminators, 2 Deo Dreadnoughts in your heavy slot, because that's probably the best anti-infantry, anti-elite, anti-dreadnought DACA you can get at range. So triple Land Raiders, 2 Dreadnoughts jumping in as well, the Blood Angels ones, dunk, and then you need more line, because you've got 3 units of Terminators that score, so 2 units of Assault Marines as well jumping in. They can't be reserved, they have to start on the table, but you've got 5 line scoring units, you've got 4 Dreadnoughts, you've got 3 Land Raiders and 15 Terminators, and that's a filthy list. And he looked at it and went, that's a bit filthy, isn't it? I went, yes, I know, but you're never going to need to buy any more Land Raiders, because you'll have 3 of them. You'll already have 2 of the deep striking Dreadnoughts that Blood Angels can get. You'll always have 2 Deo Dreadnoughts, and they're good in any list. You've got 15 Terminators, and you've got a bunch of Assault Marines. It's a good core for any Blood Angels Horus Heresy army as well. And he went, wow, Winters, you're a genius. At least that's what I heard in my head. What do you think of that list? Game on. Sounds interesting, Winters. Thank you. Hi, Dutch. It's Dutch Matrix, everyone, from the White Scars Battle Report of the weekend. The international man of mystery, wanted in 7 countries, cannot show his face on camera. So there was that list. Any Horus Heresy players in the chat, you see that list? What do you think of that list for a Blood Angels list? Particularly anyone who's played against Blood Angels or played with Blood Angels, what do you think of that list? I must have played over 100 Horus Heresy games in the last year and a bit. And I know that list is filthy. With 2 Dreadnoughts coming at you, triple Land Raider, it's a good list. It's a strong list. There are weaknesses to the list, which we can talk about as well. But it's definitely got some hench on it. There's some meat on those bones. This has gone up to 15 countries. Yeah, so Dutch is now wanted in 15 countries. He had to skip the state like Jesse James after he finished recording the battle report. The FBI were banging on my door. Helicopters were searching like vultures in the midday sun. It was nasty. Sounds horrific, says Pickle Nick. It's not 100% power. You can get filth if you want to. I mean, there's javelins, there's scorpions, there's you can bring six dreadnoughts, but it's not 100% hench list, but it's got some proper teeth. It's like an 80% list there. You can outscore it, you can move block it. There's a few other Achilles to it, but generally speaking, you can't fight the dreadnoughts, you can't fight the well, you can fight the dreadnoughts with other dreadnoughts, and you can't fight the terminators except with other terminators. And land raiders are land raiders, they're not Spartans, so they don't have flare shields on, so there is some Achilles to it, but it is a strong list. Yeah, it's Heresy. The Derrida is Heresy, yeah. I wanted to do Heresy Salamanders, but I was told they're not great right now. I was told that Raven Guard Salamanders were not great when I started collecting my Raven Guard, like they are one of the weakest Horus Heresy armies. And I love my Salamanders, and I've got a couple of lists that sing. And if I was doing Heresy Salamanders, I've heard they're not great because they're Legion trait, -1 to wound against Volkite, Melter, Flamer, Plasma, and that's it. I mean, for example, that's not great, but they are one of the few legions where you can get Terminators with 3-up invulnerable saves. So spam those bad boys. And then Pyroclast in the elite slot, and you can give them line with one of their Rite of War, so you can bring as inventory with line. Those guys all have a 2-up Artificer save. They all have 2 wounds. They all have baby melters and baby flamers. I'd spam them. There's ways to make salamanders pretty hench. Nothing quite listening to winters during work. You're doing it right. If you're watching me at work or listening to me at work, you're doing it right. Yeah, anyway, that's the first Blood Angels list that I came up with Sultan. The second one is the Deep Striking one, the Day of Revelation. And what you can do in Horus Heresy is Deep Striking, but you normally roll and you'll come in on a random game turn. The Blood Angels have got a rule through this Rite of War only, where they can put a token down on the table, and instead of rolling to deep strike, say if you come in turn 3, no, yes. If you come in turn 2, no, yes. Or automatically turn 4, you've got that random element. Instead of that random element, you put a token down and you deep strike in on the turn you want to. And if you deep strike in within 6 inches of that token, you don't scatter whatsoever, which means your opponent can zone it out quite effectively. So you can't deep strike in within 6 inches of that token. But if they do that, then you still come in on the turn you want, but you'll deep strike, you'll scatter as normal, so there's a chance of a mishap. The restrictions on this is you must bring a HQ that can deep strike with a jump pack, and everything that can deep strike with jump packs has to deep strike with jump packs. You can't leave some on the table, some can't come in from normal reserve. You basically have to bring a nugget of deep strike goodness, which is dropping in. And at about 3,000 points, you want to cap that at about 1,000. If you bring in 2,000 points in deep strike, there's 2 major problems with there. One, your army of 1,000 points is facing 3,000 points before they come in. And that's a really bad idea. Really bad idea. And the second really bad idea is, 2, if you're bringing in about 2,000 points of that stuff, you will clog up 2,000 points of deep strike all in one turn is not going to be effective, because you're not going to be able to get to the things that you want to be able to get to, because the deep strike range is a certain deep strike range. You're going to be able to achieve everything you want to achieve with 1,000 points of deep strike. 2,000 points is too much. It will clog the crap up. So we came up with a list for that one, and that's this one. And on the Deep Strike, I've got 2 units of Dawnbreakers. Deep Striking in. Dawnbreakers are a dunk if you're playing Blood Angels, or if you're interested in getting Horus Heresy and want to get a unit that is iconic and that is really strong as far as the rules are concerned. You want Dawnbreakers. 305 points for Dawnbreakers with one of their Brutal 2 weapons, and everyone's got Melter Bombs. OMG. 2 units of Dawnbreakers with one of their Deep Striking Dreadnoughts and a unit of Assault Marines. That's 1,000 points. A Dreadnought Deep Striking and Dreadnought Deep Striking in, and 20 Dawnbreakers, all with Melter Bombs, and so they can kill whatever tanks they assault, or if they're not assaulting tanks, they're Dawnbreakers, weapon skill 5. They're killing everything else they assault. And they have Sudden Strike, so they're going at initiative 5, weapon skill 5. They are a dunk. I mean, I've got Dark Furies for the Raven Guard, and I was doing them on a compare. Dark Furies can take 3 Melt Bombs, and that cost me 30 points. Dawnbreakers can take 10 Mortal Bombs for 25 points. Basically, when Blood Angels Deep Strike in, their iconic move, which is Deep Strike in, they'll kill They'll sill it bang anything out of the way. So 2 units of them deep striking, then Dreadnought and Assault Guys, and then backing that up, 2 Deredeos again. They're just too good not to bring. If you're starting Horus Heresy, start with 2 Deredeo Dreadnoughts. They kill everything but high value vehicles. 2 Vindicators with the Magna Laser Destroyers. There's a Praetor joining the jump packet. There's a Land Raider with a Herald and some Tartarus Terminators, because he didn't have enough scoring options. He's got 1 Assault, he's got Deep Striking in. A Land Raider with a Herald and some Tartarus Terminators make them score. And then we had 3 or 4 units of Tacticals just running around and being a pain in the bum. And those are lists. And it took me a couple of hours to get there with him, because it's also from his direct, like, what do I want to bring? What do I like? What do I not like? But those are a couple of lists that I came up with. Any Blood Angels players? No Blood Angels players? Anyone? I once played with my boyfriend, had a plan for once, going well I thought, then he used Deep Strike and wiped out my favourite squad. Flipped the table, damn Deep Strike, damn it to hell. Interceptor is the way forward. So if you don't make a movement phase reaction and someone Deep Strikes in the movement phase, you are allowed to intercept that with 1 unit. If you haven't reacted anywhere else, you can intercept it with Javelin, you can intercept that. And if you have Nuncio Voxes on any heavy weapon squads, special weapon squads, tactical squads, if you have Nuncio Voxes anywhere, you can make an intercept reaction and an additional one for free. And if you have Deredeo Dreadnoughts and they didn't move in the previous movement phase, they can intercept for free as well. So someone can deep strike in with, say, 3 units, 2 units of Dawnbreakers, a Dreadnought, and a unit of Assault Marines. They could deep strike them in. If you've got the right tools for the job, you'll intercept as part of your normal reaction. Then 2 Deredeos could intercept for free. Then the heavy weapons teams with Nuncio Voxes can intercept, and then maybe a support squad with Melter or Plasma can intercept as well. If you go up against a lot of deep striking in your Horus Heresy games, spam Deredeos, spam Nuncio Voxes, keep spamming Nuncio Voxes and Deredeos until your opponents stop deep striking all their stuff in your lines all the time, because you'll annihilate it all the time. I've played games of Horus Heresy where my opponents on multiple occasions have deep struck in 1,000 points. You guys know I only about film half of these, right? Because I play Heresy every single Monday and 50% of the time on Fridays as well, and I don't film hardly any of them. I went through a series last year where I was getting deep struck on again and again and again, and I was doing this again. We were testing the rules to destruction, and then we stopped doing that to each. It's just you were dropping in 1,000 points and picking them up, dropping in 1,000 points, picking them up. I was dropping in 1,000 points, picking them up. Deep strike is really strong, but deep strike everything in Heresy has got an Achilles heel. You can annihilate units that come in from deep strike unless it's, say, 30 deep striking cataphracti terminators from the Imperial Fist, because they can pay for teleport. That's different because they're cataphracti, but you can annihilate stuff coming in from deep strike. There's ways around it. Check out Deredeo Dreadnoughts. Auto includes if you're playing meaner lists, and check out Nuncio Vox's Shamonic Rights. Shamon! Thank you for becoming a Tier 3 channel member. You absolute legend. Tier 3 channel members enjoy a extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday, and you get to see the 2v2 4,000 point game, which is coming out tomorrow, which is edited, but I haven't uploaded it yet, which I'm going to need to do after this one. Where are we? How's Sanguinius in Heresy? Primarchs are Primarchs in Heresy, which means the only thing that nothing can reliably kill a Primarch at all, even Dreadnoughts. You throw a Dreadnought in at any Primarch, you fight at initiative in Heresy. It's not who charges first. You have, as well as weapon skill, ballistic skill, tough strength, and tough, you have an initiative stat, and the higher initiative means who fights first. Dreadnoughts typically have initiative 4. Praetors and captains have initiative 5, so they fight first. And I think there's only one Primarch, and it might be Lorgar, who's initiative 5. All the other Primarchs are initiative 6, 7, 8 high, stupid high. Primarchs fight first. So the only way to reliably kill a Primarch is by charging maybe 3 or 4 Dreadnoughts into a Primarch in one go. If you don't do that, Primarchs kill everything. The only other reliable way of killing a Primarch is by shooting your entire army at it for about 3 turns. Then you might kill a Primarch. Obviously, some Primarchs are easier to kill than others, but Primarchs feel like Primarchs. Where are we? What day is it today? It's definitely Tuesday. It's a Talkie Tuesday live stream. If you're on the live stream, Talkie Tuesday live stream. Anyway, that's a banger. That was one of the bangers that happened. Sultan is interested in Heresy. So on to my absolute banger, part 2. The weekend. I played 2 solid, awesome games of 40k. Anyone else play any 40k at the weekend? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Played 2 solid games. Dark Angels Chris came round on Saturday. I wanted to run the Grey Knights Eldar thing again, and I did. It was very close at the end. Grey Knights versus Eldar, very close, very competitive game. Loved it. Because the last time we played 3,000 points, this time 2,000 points. I wanted to tune that bad boy. And he hit me up on the motorway, just before the motorway, saying they've shut the motorway. So normally his journey from Bristol to Swindon is like 40 minutes from where he lives. It took him 2 hours. And then Kat was checking on the googly thing afterwards, like, hey, maybe they'll open it up by the time you've gone back. Maybe it was an accident. But no. They'd shut the M4 eastbound between Bristol and Chippenham for an entire weekend. A motorway. And then, so you've got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of cars being diverted through Chippenham town centre. Oh dear, he was not happy when he got here. But we made each other happy because we got sweaty in my room together. And we had a great time. Dear. You got an Eldar? No, I don't have an Eldar army. I've never touched Eldar in my entire life. I've never played Eldar in my entire life. Marius Gage, apart from that one time, but we don't talk about Bandcamp. Playing a weekly game at local tournaments. Local Warhammer store in a mini tournament. 3-0 right now. Well done, Marius. Well done. Joseph Troon is starting a crusade on Thursday. Nids versus Necrons. I like it. Not a jot of power armor in sight. We've got Xenos on Xenos actions. Nids versus Necrons. That should be quite an interesting one. Stuart Fields, all the way from the land down under, he's got demon armies in 40k. Are they able to be used in Heresy in any real crossover? I'd love to give the game a try. Yes is the answer to that. You can play Imperial Guard and you can play demons in Heresy. And that is pretty much the full Imperial Guard range, not Solar Auxilia, the Imperial Guard range, and they are called the Imperialis Militia in Heresy, and you can get a PDF for that. And you can play demons in Heresy, and there isn't any demons, that is the demon range, and there's a PDF for that. Custodes, almost. You can play Custodes. There is a lot of Forge World, a lot of unique stuff for Custodes that you can only use in Heresy. The only crossover, not even Contempt of Dreadnoughts. Basically, the infantry Custodes in 40k and 30k are the same. You know, shield guys, sword and shield, and the guys with the spears, they cross over, but nothing else does. Everything else in the 40k book is 40k Custodes, and everything in the Forge World book for 30k Custodes is Forge World and a lot cooler because they've got tanks, which they haven't got in 40k except for a Land Raider, which in Heresy they've got floaty grav tanks and things like that. Having said all that, all you need to do to win with Custodes in Heresy, one of the strongest lists you can bring in the entire of Horus Heresy is as many infantry custodian guardians that you can get and a shield captain leading them. If you build 3,000 points worth of that, put that down on the table you will win 19 out of 20 of your games. Wardens don't really exist in Heresy, so you just blend the Wardens into the Guardians, because Guardians can bring spears or axes. So spears or axes. They're split into 2 units in Heresy. The shields and swords are 1 unit, and the axes and spears are another unit. So when I play Heresy, I blend my axe and spear guys together, and normally the axe guys are in the Wardens and it doesn't, dunk. There are no Wardens. You know what I mean? He was the dude that did that against. No one's done that with all the Custodes against me recently, but we've definitely tried it. We've definitely given it a go, which is, I don't think we've ever beaten a list in testing which is just Custodians. Just Custodians everywhere is unbeatable. The reason why is because they're all initiative 5, so they all fight first. They're all the same as having a captain or a centurion, so they're all initiative 5, they're all fight first. They're all AP2, every single one of their weapons. They all have melter bombs, so they can kill tanks as well. They all have skirmish, so they get a 4-up cover save in cover. They're all stubborn, so they don't fail leadership test, and they all score. And they can all deep strike. Well, you need to pay for the deep strike with the thing, but you don't deep strike, you just put them on the table and you win. So they kill tanks, they kill infantry, they kill everything, they're fast. It's playing against Custodes is playing Heresy on hard mode. Hello, Soul Hunter. Thanks for joining the chat. Soul Hunter's painting up some Krieg. Just say, love the White Scars bat rep recently. What a great looking army. Thank you very much, Soul Hunter. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining the chat. Enjoyed painting your Krieg. I think Dutch is in the chat somewhere. He was up earlier on, who had the White Scars. But yeah, I'm glad you I like that battle report. It was a banger of one. Did you take the Custodian sweaty list against Primarchs? Primarchs are different. So, Primarchs, so some things in Heresy imbalance it. In Heresy, you can bring Titans along. See, there you go. Dutch Matrix is in the chat. Soul Hunter, meet Dutch Matrix. International Man of Mystery, wanted in 12 countries now. Couldn't put his face on camera, but he's here. Some things unbalance games in Heresy. You can bring Titans in Heresy. You can bring an army of only Dreadnoughts in Heresy. Titans, there are rules in Heresy which are called our weapons are useless. In 40k, a 6 to wound always wounds. It doesn't matter whether it's a grot shooting at a super huge tank. If they get a 6 to wound, they wound the tank. Not so in Heresy. There are many weapons in Heresy that cannot wound a Warlord Titan. Bringing an entire army of Dreadnoughts also unbalances the game, and bringing Primarchs typically, not all the time, but most of the time, will unbalance the scales a little bit. So if you're bringing a Primarch, you need to make sure that your opponent's bringing a Primarch as well. Or if your opponent's bringing a Primarch, they should tell you. Or if your opponent's bringing a Primarch or you're bringing a Primarch, you should definitely tell each other, so you can say, okay, I'm not going to bring a Primarch, but I'm going to bring a Lord of War. I'm going to bring this 700-point Fellblade super heavy tank or something. Heresy is inherently balanced along the middle because everyone's bringing the same units. Everyone's got tactical marines. Everyone's got tanks. All the weapons are the same. Everyone's got everyone's got access to the same pool of shizzle. And then there's the exceptions, the Legion exception stuff and the Legion specific stuff, which puts the flavor in there. And yeah, it can get off the rocker really quickly. So if you ran an entire unit of Custodes, an entire army of Custodes, and there is a Primarch opposite you, obviously a Primarch can beat Custodes. So you've got to bring along Valdor, who has the Primarch keyword in, and he can stop them. Primarchs cancel each other out in most cases. I mean, Valdor is a 350-point Primarch compared to 650-point Horus. Horus smashes Constantine. So Primarchs are a different thing, is what I'm saying. Primarchs they're a whole other order of magnitude, and it's glorious that they are. Is the Spud Bros potato food truck hype in the UK real? If so, what's your order? Andrew, come on. Anyone? Hello, good to see you. Which faction is the most played faction in the world? Earth, it's Space Marines. By a long margin, is Space Marines. It's the most played faction in a long way. You just have to go to any narrative, non-competitive event to see that. You just have to look at the Games Workshop sales figures. It's Space Marines by a long way. Still got to email you pics of you on my big TV in my living room. Stuart Fields, playing a fun crusade with my local club every Thursday. Nice. Everyone's about 10 games in. Nice. Playing 1,000-point games is great fun. Look, I've played quite a chunk of 1,000-point games in 40k as well, and it works. 1,000-point games actually works quite well, and it focuses the mind, because you can't I'm going to bring that and a bit of that. At 1,000 points, you're like, I can bring that, and that's it. So you're either going, right, I'm going to bring a mixed list. So I've got some long range DACA, I've got some punch, and I've got some utility, and that's it. Or you can go, right, I'm going to go boom, and I'm going to bring a couple of units of Terminators and Dreadnought. Or I'm going to go boom, and I'm going to bring a couple of tanks and a thing. So you can go chonk with one thing, chonk with another thing, or a nice blend, and that's it. 1,000 points of 40k, it works. It works an awful lot. I played a couple of games. It works. That's cool that Valdar is the Primarch keyword. Yeah, he does. Because the Primarch keyword means they get Eternal Warrior. It will not die. They can't be wounded on anything other than a blur. There's other things like Primarchs. When you attack something, the wound pool that you accrue, your opponent chooses how to apply it. So in your wound pool, you might have some invulnerable saves you need to make and some other saves you need to make. And then you can choose what models in your unit that you're applying those to. So basically you avoid putting them on your sergeant or your captain or any of your special weapons. You choose where you want to apply them, not your opponent who did all the wounds to you, unless they're a Primarch. Primarchs pick what they want to kill. I'm going to kill, right, here's the wound pool that I generated by my Primarch, and I'm killing that guy, and you're like, okay. So they've got that rule. And poison weapons don't work, and they're fearless, and they get wounds back, and they are immune to instant death. So really strong weapons don't kill you, which is what happens in Heresy. If you get hit by a really strong weapon like a las cannon, doesn't matter how many wounds you've got, you're dead. If you fail to save, you're dead. One gets through, you're dead. It's like imagine getting hit by a volcano lance in 40k, and it hits Dante. And he fails. He makes all of his saves but one. And instead of taking D3 wounds, Dante's dead. That's what happens in Heresy. It's called instant death. If the strength of the weapon is at least double the target's toughness, and one wound gets through, dead. How do you think Imperialis won't get them? Neo. How would Knights Errant work in current Heresy? Knight Errants do work in current Heresy. There are Legends rules for them, and you can stick them in there. There are rules for Nathaniel Garrow, Rubio. There's a couple of them that do have rules supported. So that's an answer to that. What's this? Primarch. Do you think Imperialis? So Imperialis Militia is Imperial Guard. If you want to run Imperial Guard in Heresy, you can. It's Imperialis Militia. And the Imperial Guard don't have a Primarch. So the Imperialis Militia will not get a Primarch. What you can do, if you want to, is run Imperial Guard, Imperialis Militia, and have an allied detachment of a Space Marine Legion with a Primarch in it. You can do that. Another thing you can do in Heresy, for example, is there's no limit to the number of allies you can bring. So you can have your main Force Org, and you can ally in a chunk of Word Bearers, and you can ally in a chunk of Imperial Fists, and you could ally in a chunk of Iron Warriors, and you can have 4 different legions fighting on the table side by side and go. So that's how that works. Yeah, recently learned that Valdor was with the Emperor for a long time. Yeah, man. The Custodes. So the first genetic gene. We all know that the Emperor made the Thunder Warriors and then the Space Marines, right? The Thunder Warriors were precursors to the Space Marines. But even before he made the Thunder Warriors, he made the Custodes. So the best stuff he made first. A bit like the pyramids. They made the biggest, pointiest things first, and then they ended up with the Valley of Kings. Because as we all know, aliens made the pyramids. So the aliens came down, made the pyramids. The aliens came down, made the Custodes. The Earth is flat. Australia isn't real. We all know these things. We've read it on the internet. Do you know gravity isn't a thing? There's no such thing as gravity. It's just that the Earth is falling down at 170 miles an hour or something. And that's why if you jump up, it's because the Earth has dropped down. It's not gravity. That's what the internet says, flat Earth. So yeah, yeah, the Custodes were there at the start. And the Unification Wars lasted at least 600 years is the best information that we have on it at this time, because of the Outcast Dead and the bolts in his head and the Primarch, I forget his name, of the Thunder Warriors, 8th Legion, I forget their name. But yeah, we know the Unification of Terror lasted at least 600 years. It's crazy that, isn't it? The Crusade of the Galaxy, the Great Crusade, lasted 200 years before the Heresy broke out. The Unification of Terror took 3 times as long. But I guess way back at the start, you didn't have any Primarchs. No, I mean, do you think the Imperialis game, the epic version? Oh. Do I think they'll bring Primarchs into Imperialis? The epic version. They didn't have them before. But Primarchs sell. So I can definitely see them bringing in a command squad, Primarch command squad type thing. Yes. Do I think they... If the question is, do I think they'll bring Primarchs to Imperialis Militia? Yes, is the answer. I think they will, eventually. Hi, Mootle Doodle. Stuart Fields. Not liking these rumours about another price hike in the 11th edition. Yeah, I mean, 11th edition is a year and a half out, right? Every 3 years, we're going to get one. And the price hike every single year, we're going to get one. We get a price hike every year. We get a new edition every 3 years. Welcome to 40k. It's been that way since 7th. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the world down. Exactly. Chuck Norris once killed 2 stones with 1 bird. You had the Chaos Primarchs in Epic. Yeah, you had the Chaos Primarchs in Epic. Stuart Fields, love the old Primarchs in Epic. There we go. Still got Magnus, Angron, and Uncle Morty. There we go. They were in the old Epic. They're definitely coming in the new Epic. We haven't even finished talking about my weekend yet. And what a banger it was. So that was the first game, Dark Angels Chris, the motorway thing. The second game was again another 2 super chat for the Loft Fund. Thank you, Marius Gage. We're not allowed to talk about my Loft Fund. Thank you. But thank you for your donation. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you so much. Can we have a big GG's in the chat for Marius Gage, please? GG's for MG. Loft for the Loft Fund. Gods for the God Throne. Thank you. GG's in the chat. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. GG's. See? Loads of GG's. Irregularities in the pension fund. Exactly. If it happens, it happens. I have a dream that one day we'll see. Hail the Loft. We're not allowed to talk about Fight Club or Bandcamp. She gets upset. But thank you so much. That was the Saturday. That was an awesome game. Then on the Sunday, 2.5 Wargamers. If you haven't checked them out, check out 2.5 Wargamers on YouTube. A new YouTube 40k Battle Report channel. They're not even been out for a year. And the first time they turned up, we did my Orcs versus their Tau. Went down really well. And this time on the Sunday, they had knights. Oh God, it's such a long time ago now, Sunday. They had knights and something. And I had knights and something. Anyway, 2,000 points of knights, 2,000 points of knights. Plus my some. I had the end of all things with some knights. And they had some Imperial knights with something else. And that was a banger. That was another banger game. Another 4,000 point game. That was a banger. And then it's not over. I played and filmed Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Because James came down from marchofwar.co.uk for all your hobby goodness. If you need resin bases, if you need scenery, if you need bits for the Bits God and skulls for the Skull God, check out March of War. And we did 2 games of Imperialis Militia. The idea was he would come down, would play a game all day. I don't normally do 4 in a row, by the way. I mean, it's a bit much because the idea was on the Monday after we played, we'd go out and get a few drinks in, have a good old time. But he had a busy weekend and I'd had a busy weekend. And by the time I'd packed up and finished here on Monday evening, it was 9 o'clock at night and I went to bed. I can't, James, I need some sleep, mate. So I had a banging 5,000 point game of Imperialis Militia and I'm really looking forward to bringing that one to you. And then I've bought him today and then he went back home. So 4 games, absolute banger of a weekend, 2 40k, 2 Horus Heresy. I am a gaming god. A loft, think bigger, a gaming centre with Winter's Mug Club Cafe. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? And that would be lovely. I just want a hobby dungeon. I've got a hobby dungeon and it's awesome. But I just wish I could have like a space for 2 tables to do big apocalypse games. You got to dream. You got to have dreams. Anyway, that was my weekend. And my Monday, Tuesday. Banger. Absolute banger. Right. Coffee is getting cold, but there was something else. My brain. How we doing, chat? I made a YouTube channel with 1 video and then got scared for 10 months about filming a bat rap. Don't know how you do it. Yeah. It's... what I do is I warm up, and before, this is how I film them, right? What you do is you set up the night before, always the night before, and in the morning you warm up, you do all your warm-ups, you do a bit of yoga, you stretch out like that. I go down to the back of the garden and open up the traps, grab a penguin and sacrifice a penguin to the penguin throne, and then read in the penguin kidneys and entrails how it's going to go. Burn the entrails, come back inside, have some hobnobs, have a cup of tea, go upstairs and follow the teaching of the penguin entrails. That's how it's done. Penguins and entrails. Are you still rocking Space Marine 2? Am I rocking Space Marine? I've got 4 at level 25, my friend. I am smashing that bad boy. I've killed the the Hierophant. That guy is a toast. I haven't tried a lethal level yet. I think to do it on lethal, you need at least 1 Bulwark level 25 because it's hard to get shields back. I don't think you need a team that talk to each other. I don't know. I mean, I can run Ruthless all days at level 25 with some noobs. I've done Ruthlesses at level 1 before. Me and Saltman jumped in when I was leveling up my Vanguard, and he was like level 20 assault guy, and I jumped in as a level 1 Vanguard, and we did 4 Ruthless level missions, and I went from level 1 to level 10 in 4 missions. I might have played that game a bit too much. Once you got the parry down, you're fine. But I might have played that game a bit too much. I am loving that game. Space Marine 2's director has gone bonkers. Good to know. Where are we? Yes, Stuart Fields, you forget about the penguin. You see? You forget about the penguin. Penguin guts. You must be at least a year up on a video. I don't... No, I mean... There's gaps. What happens in the videos? I get what you're saying, like, because I did 4 in a row. It goes like this. So, like, I'm now not filming again until Saturday. And then I'm not filming again after this Saturday till next Saturday, unless the Sunday thing with Sultan happens, which is a campaign thing, which I'm not allowed to talk about, because it might not happen that we actually do this campaign called The Marvelous Adventures of Inquisitor Alexis Sedera, which is a D&D meets 40k crossover a la Saga of the Red Frost. And I told him that I definitely wouldn't tell the internet about this because it might not happen. But yes, there's sometimes I film a lot and sometimes I don't film in between, which is good because I need to catch up on all the editing and all the painting and all the other bits as well, and also wife time. Ruthless was silly, easy before the buff to difficulty. Yeah, there was a few, they did some things, didn't they? They did some nerfs on the old Space Marine 2. I must admit, I played quite a smack of Ruthless as soon as that new update dropped, and I was smashing it. And then later on, I found out they'd nerfed some stuff, and I didn't notice it. The roll thing nerf was, they said it was a bug, it was unintentional, and then they're going to go back and fix that this week. But I don't, dodging helps, and I haven't played heavy for a while with the gun, and that's the one that rolls around the most. I was playing Bulwark and Tactical a lot, and that's mainly parrying. There is the dodging, the unbreakable attacks, but you do less of that than when you are a heavy and you're trying to get the hell out of there, or you're a sniper and you're trying to get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? Do you ever play Space Hulk Death? I'd never played Space Hulk Deathwing, no, because they never ported it across to Xbox, and I'm not a member of the PC Master Race, and it only came out on PlayStation and PC. So, no, I didn't. And I'd have played the crap out of that as well. Like, I played an unhealthy amount of Dark Tide. I stay away from certain video games because I have a very compulsive personality. If I'm going to do something, I do it a lot. So, oh dear. It's some games, you know the ones, like Civilization or Sims, those sort of games where you can lose thousands of hours. World of Warcraft. I've learned my lesson of I do not touch. Basically, it's a long time back now, but after Skyrim, I don't touch certain games, and that game can end. And then I fell off the cliff for Witcher, which I put 300 hours into Witcher 3. I got to be very careful. I am obsessive when it comes to stuff. Okay, obsessive. The in-game director, it throws so many hordes and elite enemies at you now. It's glorious fun, Vanguard for me. Vanguard's pretty good fun. I like Vanguard. Zipping in, zipping away again. My funnest character, yeah, Marius, you've lost a decade on Warcraft, right? I know a friend who's been playing World of Warcraft for about 15 years. And literally, when there are updates and things, you won't see him for a month at all. You're 260 hours on Space Marine 2 now. You feel like you overdid it. That's awesome. Those are proper numbers, yo. Proper numbers. Yeah. What's your favorite class in Space Marine 2? Heavy's easy mode, right? Tactical is quite challenging and interesting because he's a good shooty but not the best, and he's good fighty but not the best. I like Bulwark. I really, because when you go wading in there and there's 6 warriors and a horde of little gribblies, and all of a sudden a neurothrope jumps out of the shadows onto your back and you're surrounded in a corridor and it just doesn't stop. And you put the banner down and you walk out of there with full health, full shields after killing every fool that dared to touch you. You feel like a gaming god. That's one of the things I love about Space Marine 2. Do you remember those video games? You know, like Rorschach in Watchmen. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Overdid that one. But I'm not trapped in it. You know that feeling that you used to get in video games, like you're the gaming god. In Halo 2, when you deep strike down onto the second Halo ring, and Cortana says, hey, could have we made any more noise? And the drop pod doors smash open and he pulls out a rocket launcher and she goes, I guess not. It's like, it's the Master Chief is now on the Halo. You guys are all fucked. that gaming god feeling. Space Marine gives you that feeling. There's not a lot of video games that give you that feel. Like I'm the one who knocks. There's not very many video games that give you that old school feeling, but Space Marine 2 gives you that old school feeling like, yeah, this is a Tuesday for these guys. I don't care. It's like me, you, and 100,000 Xenos. I like those odds. He literally says that line, and I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Soul Hunter, thank you for your donation, you legend. Can we have a GG's in the chat for Soul Hunter, please? GG's in the chat. This is for taking the leap to do this full time many years ago and providing us with some of the greatest content on YouTube. Thanks, man. You are a legend. Thank you, Dutch Matrix, for GGing him up. Everyone, GG up Soul Hunter. There's a thing here. Can I heart that? I can't heart. How do I heart that? Celebrate their soup. Click on. I'm trying to click on the buttons to GG it. Can I? No, that's not the. Oh, don't press the. 1 minute. What about in it? Look, GG. Can I GG? I can GG. I'm scared of pressing buttons while this thing is live because I'm definitely going to break something at some point. But thank you, Soul Hunter. Thank you for your kind words. Appreciate you. And he's got the old Night Lords thing as well, the Soul Hunter. Mind you, the loading times and servers dropping out on PS5 makes me want to throw a controller sometimes. The loading times are a bit harsh, particularly in this day and age. But they were on Dark Tide, and it is what it is. I mean, that's one of the good things that Halo used to do 20 years ago. Like, you'd hide the loading times between the points in the level with another cutscene or another elevator ride. You know, remember the elevator rides would take 5 hours to get to the top? Like, ping, on the frozen part of the Halo. And that's because it's loading the next level for you. So they figured that out a long time ago. Why can't we have that back in? I don't know. Don't press the elite. I try not to press the delete, but I was trying to, it says up here, YouTube's telling me to celebrate your first super on a live stream. So apparently that's your first super on a live stream ever. So a massive GG to you. So I clicked on the thing that says, let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. And then another thing came up with a drop down with an edit. And it's scary technology. Hate technology. Just pray to the machine god, pray to Alexa and Siri, treat them nice, and maybe your Domino's order won't get screwed up. You know what I mean? Right, there was something else. Was anyone round at the beginning? What was I going to talk about at the end? We've talked about so much today. My brain is fried. Is anyone? Bueller, anyone here at the beginning? What was I going to say at the end? It'll come back to me. Saturday, but you've already kind of said. The surprise. Yes, this Saturday. What's your favourite 40k food? Eldar Tears. Oh, that's a drink, really. It'll be the left butt cheek of an Eldar Farseer. Sauteed in butter and white wine with a nice peppercorn sauce. Yeah. Tastes like chicken. Saturday. Okay, guys. Stranger Come Knocking's hobbies. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. Not for the loft. It's definitely not for the loft. We're not allowed to talk about the loft. Stranger Come Knocking hobbies. GG's in the chat for Stranger Come Knocking, please. Massive GG's. Thank you for keeping the dono train chugging. I appreciate you, sir. And I've almost finished painting this bad boy, which was converted by Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies. He needs a wash and a couple more layers, but Alex hasn't been around. GG's, well done. Thank you, Quicksilver, Dutch Matrix, Soul Hunter, Jackass Woods, who's not French, Wolfhart Angbarn, Joseph Troom, and Red Richmond. GG's all round. What does GG's mean? Anyway, thank you, Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies. Saturday. Okay. Strap yourself in for this one, guys. There's a very special guest coming to the studio on Saturday, and we're going to film a battle report together. And it's been one of the most requested requests that I get requested, and it's also one of the most requested requests that he gets requested on his channel as well. I've played him before, but we didn't film it. And this time, we're going to film it. And that guest is Luton. Winter's SEO versus Luton narrative battle report coming to a YouTube channel near you. Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's go. Luton doesn't play very much. I don't know when it's going to be published yet. I'll try and get it up quite soon, probably the week after. If I play him this weekend, I could probably get it up the week after. He doesn't play very much. He's getting back into the hobby from a gaming point of view. He's been painting. We've been chatting on the WhatsApp. He's got some ideas. He's got a filthy list. And we're going to try and play a narrative, because Luton can't come up and we can't play primaries, secondaries, we can't do that. It's Luton. It's going to have to be something story driven. Wojciech, thank you for your 20. GG20, best served at night, lol. Thank you for your 20 donation. Everyone, can we give a massive GG round of applause for Wojciech? Keeping the dono trainer rolling. You guys have been very, very generous this evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh dear. Why is that up there saying that? YouTube is freaking out right now. Thank you. It's going to be one. See, this is the thing. You say it's going to be one hell of a narrative game. It's just, yeah, it's not. See, I am slightly worried. Luton Airport, yeah, not that one. How can I make it? It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some people out there saying you should have done it this way. Some people out there should have done it this way. Or how can I add more narrative? Or what sort of mission can I play? Or what? I want it to be perfect. Luton appearing in a battle report with me. We need a nice, good story. We need some sweet, sweet dice rolling. We need it to come down to the last dice roll. Say it's over in turn 3. Say the story is a bit pants. Say that it's... Will it be 40k? It's 40k, baby. We're doing 40k. 40k. And he's not bringing his Ultramarines. He loves his Ultramarines. He loves his Ultramarines. So he's bringing his Necrons instead. Because he said most of the games he's played, because he's warming up, is with his Necrons. So he's warmer with his Necrons. And because he loves his Ultramarines so much, he feels it when they lose. And I have armies that are precious to me. So I understand that 100%. So Necrons, he could be more fun. Plus they're a bit more forgiving. Oh dear. So I need to come up with a kind of narrative. I need to think about the faction I'm running against him. Need to think of a narrative kind of game. Like, what would the win-loss conditions be? Is it going to be attack, defender? Are we just going to fight over some objectives? Is there going to be bonus points for killing a warlord? Is there going to be artillery strikes? There's got to be some artillery strikes or some warp effect or some wind effect. Or there's got to be some other mission rule happening, right? That we spice up in there, because that will just help the story flow. But what are the win-loss conditions? Because primary, secondary, contagions, and engage on all fronts, and it doesn't, it's hardly conducive to good storytelling. Oh dear, don't stress out. Get them on screen. If it's just bad, rinse and repeat. We need some sweet, sweet dice rolling. Prepared to be disappointed. Yeah. Angron and his threat. What? No, it's not going to be against Gulliman, and it's not Eldar versus Necron's Heresy squad. Screw you. Don't overthink it. Yes, but I do though. I do overthink it. I'm gonna okay. I mean, what? Because I do a lot of ones where we're just fighting over these objectives. I need some more ideas. Anyone got any ideas? What would you like to see? What is it? Have you got any ideas? If Winter's SEO and Luton 09 Battle Report comes out, and it's Necrons versus not Eldar, what sort of ideas what would you imagine it looked like? I'm asking for a friend. What are the armies? One of them's Necrons. I think I'm going to bring the 13th, and I think... See, off the top of my head, it's 13th OG Firstborn Marines. That's off the top of my head. Because I'm most well known for them, I guess. But... it could be anything. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. I haven't thought it through. Did I mention I played Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at awesome times, but I haven't had much time to think about Uriel Ventress versus Necrons. And no, Red Richmond's got so many ideas, but all terrible. It's like, yeah, I have like 9 out of 10 ideas. Words, I'm getting excited. See, 9 out of 10 of the ideas I come up with are terrible. Bring Sikaris. I'm Sikaris. No. Fall of Damnos. Oh yeah, we could set it in a thing, couldn't we? It could actually be set on a world somewhere. In the Prior Nexus, Fall of Damnos. Could it be? He's got a custom-made HQ named character that he's come up with himself with these, and he sent me this thing through saying, is this okay? I think it's about 200 points, and it's like a named custom Necron overlord with its own rules that he's come up with. He's got a narrative behind his HQ, and it's a full data sheet, like it's like a Games Workshop one that he's photoshopped. It looks beautiful, and I'm like, Luton, I love you a little bit. Like, now there's like a named... and he's like, do you mind if I use it? Of course, I don't mind if you use it. Bring him along. Look at it. It's beautiful. This is 40k. Oh, dear. This has Tomb World written all over it. It does, doesn't it? Strike force into the heart of a Tomb World. It does. It's Necrons. It's Tomb World. Objectives that have used such as power generation, magic weapon boxes, or comms array would be a nice start. Yes. No objective markers, just imbalance, set up, and fight for survival. See, you can just duke it out in games of 40k, and that used to be one of the core missions in 9th edition going backwards. Just fight. But it's story-wise, when you're trying to tell a story, it's nice to have a thing, a MacGuffin. Like, here's two forces against each other and they just want to kill each other. It's good. And you can drive a story, and it's a good... You can do that, and I've done it many... You can. I'm thinking story-wise, narrative-wise, if there's some points of interest. You know, some POIs there. 13th Firstborn is always a treat. I literally built my Firstborn battle company off the back of those battle reports. Yeah, I was thinking like a Land Raider with some Centurions in it, and a Whirlwind and a Predator. So we've got some OG tanks, one Whirlwind, one Predator, one Land Raider, maybe two Land Raiders, some Terminators deep striking in, some drop pods deep striking in. But if it's in a tomb world, I can't do the drop pods unless it's on the surface of a tomb world. And these things have burst up from underground. And now they're on the surface. Necron Tomb World that's bursting up from underground. And then we can bring in artillery strikes because this stuff has burst up from underground. 13th with a Custodes detachment versus Necrons with a Catan or two. There's definitely a Catan coming. A 13th civilian evacuation. That's not a battle report. That's an episode of some TV show. And it's a great idea. But a battle report is two armies fighting. Necron's units bursting out of the ground. That's what I said. Necron units bursting out, but Necron Tomb World bursting out of the ground. Necron things bursting. No, units bursting out. That could work. Deep striking rules for some Necron stuff bursting up out of underground. That could work. I like these ideas. Keep them coming. Half map where 13th have to deploy and move underground with certain restrictions, i.e. not dropping underground. Half and half. Where I have to deploy then move underground, but then there'll be some stuff stopping me while I deploy and stuff. That's a good idea. Keep them coming. But David versus Goliath, there's nothing more epic a story eternally. Yeah, I mean, he is definitely Goliath. Or definitely David. Which one won? Could you make it a 2-parter? No, it's a long journey for him. He's about 3 hours from here. He's driving all the way up, and he's got a baby and everything. Driving all the way up from the back report, driving all the way back again. I said I'd go down in because he's done his hobby updates on his channel, right? He's finally setting up a space. He's never had a space which is dedicated gaming space. I mean, he's got his office. You know what I mean? It's 40k. You need to put a table somewhere, and normally it's in your dining room or kitchen or something like that. And then you like get out of the house to anyone else who lives in the house. I'm playing here. You got to be really lucky to have an entire room dedicated to it and it only. And there's a few of you out there that have got that, like the garage or the shed or the thing. And he's getting there. And when he gets there, I'll go down to his house and we'll play there, but we won't film it. And that'll be fun. But yeah, we won't film it around. But he coming all the way up. We can't do a 2-part. Where are we? Okay. 13th holding evacuation centers. They've got to hold points to let off-screen civilians escape. Right, so the 13th are holding some areas, like the evac points. And if they manage to hold them at the end of the game, civilians can get off the planet and things. But if they get overwhelmed by the Necrons, then people die. Nice idea. I like it. Second part of the Forces Underground Platinum Chances. That's a 2-part one. Always wanted to build a vertical games table. Mini Wargaming Dave did it. And there's a Mini Wargaming vertical. It's literally like leveling along the thing. And they did a couple of campaigns with it was almost like Donkey Kong 40k going up. They've done it. And that's appeared. And I have to say, I watched all of them. And after the first couple, it falls off a bit. Because on a flat gaming table, you can flank that way, you can flank that way, you can deep strike in. But when it's vertical and there isn't that much that you can't go back into it very much, you're just going along and up and along and up. It's corridor fighting. 9 times out of 10, it's corridor fighting. Not all the time, because there's ways to jump levels, there's ways to do other things, and other mechanics they brought it in, but most of the time it was corridor fighting. So most of the time, after a couple of them, it got a bit one-dimensional, or three-dimensional. Why not film at his place, old school? I would never go to someone else's house and say, hey, can I film here? That'd be for him to film when he gets there, or for him to make some recordings while we were there to use in a video for his stuff at some point in the future. Also, lighting and sound. It's got to be bright. There's a few people in the chat who've been here and filmed with me. It's got to be, it needs to be office brightness to film properly, to catch the light properly. And even then, it's still not bright. It needs to be bright. And it needs to be insulated enough so the sound doesn't bounce off the walls. And getting those things right, and the chances that he just rolls the dice and after getting everything set up and it's the right brightness with no... I mean, he could, but unlikely. That trophy gives off the most light. I know, right? Like a shining star. You are talking to the No Retreat 2021 Legend of Legends champions. But you can't keep bringing that up, you know. You can't keep banging on. I mean, it's been ages. You can't mention it again and again and again. Not 4 years, 3 years after you did it. At some point, you got to put that puppy to rest and then bury it 6 feet underground, put some lime on top of it and walk away. You can't keep banging that on. You know, you can't. It's like filming on the surface of the sun, says Dutch Matrix. And he would know, because Dutch was here at the weekend for a White Scars versus Iron Hands Battle Report, which you can check out now on YouTube, on Winters SEO YouTube channel, which you're already watching right now. Yeah. What about this? First you heard of the trophy? Yeah, I know. I'm humble. I barely mentioned the trophy. I have 100% win rate at GTs, ITCs, FBIs, LVOs, 100%. I hardly mention it. Humble. You've got to be subtle, quiet, you know. It's one of the reasons why I don't do the LGTVO ITCs as well. is because you've got to give other people a chance, right? I can't just walk in there, win everything, and walk out again. You've got to give people a chance. So at some point, you just got to, like, you know, I'll just stick at being a gaming god over here rather than going to America and destroying all of the Americans out there. Because as we all know, Americans can't really play 40k. I don't think they've won a WTC ever. And I think the whole world has pretty much agreed that Americans are probably B tier. I want to say C tier. I'll give them a B tier. They're not A tier. They're not S tier. But they're probably B tier 40k players. We all know that. They don't know that. Because Americans, you know, their education system, they don't know anything. But we know that. So I can't go over there and humiliate them all, because I've got some viewers from America. And some of them are actually quite nice people. I've got some viewers from the UK as well, and most of them are definitely not nice. Maybe one or two. But the Americans, you know, you got to, in the playground, so we're all from planet Earth, and we're all in the playground. Australia's there in the corner, playing his little cricket, okay? Japan's over there with the Pokemon cards, picking his nose. Britain is stamping his feet up and down, pretending that he knows everything, but really is snot dribbling down his face. Really bad teeth. And he only comes in twice a week because he's lazy and pulling sickies most of the time. You've got all the kids in the playground. The American kid is the one running around like, all the time. That's the American kid. Always the loudest, always the fastest. But American education, not very bright. Americans will get good, like the Australian colonists at cricket. Red Richmond. I'm an American and I've never won a tournament. Anyway, that was a banger of a live stream. I really appreciated that. Thank you for all the new members. Thank you for all the super chats and things. Thank you for keeping me company on this Talky Tuesday evening. Winter's coming. Winter is coming and Christmas is coming. Get yourself and your loved one some awesome Winter's SEO merch for your Christmas. Pussy Watch. He's been here all the way through. Look. First time ever. All the way through. Yeah. Look how happy my pussy is. Sound and happy. Normally my pussy gets really upset when I start talking, but not this evening, because he's drugged up after his vet visit. But thank you for stopping by this evening. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for the ideas. I had an awesome weekend. I hope you guys have an awesome week. And I've got to press that button. Got to click that button. Get some time. Thank you. Thank you all. And happy wargaming.